Guys, welcome to the first of our U.S. specials. Here we are in beautiful Maroon Bells, Colorado, which is near Aspen.
Reminds me a little bit of the Tetons in Wyoming, if you guys are familiar with that area. It's about a bunch of 14,000 foot peaks. And over here, if you walk a little bit further, you can see that there's a lake. Right.
Are 14,000.
Yeah, the mountains here are 14,000, the big rock ones. And people actually climb them as rock climbers, and they're known as some of the most dangerous peaks to climb in Colorado. But people do it anyways because it's 14,000 feet.
But those rocks up there, they can actually crumble very easily. So rocks have been known to fall, and that obviously contributes to a large number of the deaths
Right.
on these peaks. And while there are 54 14,000 foot peaks in Colorado, these two are among the most dangerous because of those aforementioned hazards.
So here's the lake.
Called Maroon Lake.
If you look further, there's actually a moose. I don't know if it comes out in GoPro, but
Probably does not.
definitely doesn't because GoPro is GoPro. But
But there is a moose. Trust me, there is a moose down there.
there's also bighorn sheep around here and
Somewhere.
a lot of vegetation, which is pretty cool. You can only access this in the summer because in the winter there's too much avalanche danger. Okay, we'll check in with you later when we climb a little further up. This is nice.
This water, despite the fact that it looks clear, in fact has parasites, so I'm not going near that. I do not want to spend the last week of my summer, I don't want to spend it in bed. But this is only the first of two lakes that we're going to. We're planning on hiking up to a lake up there 500 feet above us called Crater Lake, and I'm not sure how the elevation is going to treat me on the hike because we're already at almost 10,000 feet, and if you remember how heavily I was breathing in Ethiopia, this is going to be, who knows, we'll see how it treats me. We're following this rocky trail, weaving through the aspens. This is a good place for me to twist my ankle. I may or may not have already done so. This is the debris I was talking about. The rocks that chip off of the mountains. I think this is what we're talking about. The just huge boulders. It's pretty difficult to walk over. What do you think, Dad, of this trail? The trail's pretty steep now. And I've got GoPro in my right hand, water bottle in my left. So I better not fall. Okay, I guess I'll put my bottle in there. That'll make it easier. You can tell from my slightly labored breathing that we've come a good ways. And look, another one of these massive boulder fields. I don't know how they ended up here because the peaks are all the way up there, but there's gravity for you. Well, brief altitude check, 10,160. The other lake was at about 9,600, and they said it'd be a 500-foot vertical climb. So that means we're pretty close to the top. And maybe the top just right up there because we do seem to be nearing a ledge up there, an open clearing. The trail gets pretty steep, as you can see. I guess I'll check in again from the lake. It started raining, so we're gonna turn around, but if you can see right there, there's the lake. Not much water in it. It looks pretty dry. And just look at this incredible view. There's the trail we've come on. Signing off from the Maroon Bells. Peace. The next day we decided to head over to Snowmass to check out the mountain biking trails Gravity Logic, who builds trails at Deer Valley, Utah, our home mountain, had built. We found this trail called Valhalla, which had a bunch of cool wood features and easy, safe jumps. It was a pretty sweet experience despite my multiple crashes. That's Dylan on the helmet cam. Way better than I can do. Oh!
Thought it'd be a good idea to get chilies, mushrooms, bacon, and a fried egg on his burger.
Living large, man.
Here at the top of Aspen Mountain.
Oh, I mean, what would you omit from there? Like, The green
All of
chilies
it.
sound good. The
All of
mushrooms
it.
sound good. The bacon. I mean, you
All
love
of it
burgers
except
with
the
fried
egg.
eggs.
That's it.
No, mushrooms are fried. Live large, regret it later. This is it.
You gotta, yeah.
I might regret this later, but for now, let's dig in. I kind of regret this already. Anyway, the view from our table is very nice.
Of course the sun is in the worst possible place.
So we're at the top of Aspen Mountain right now, and that's Aspen Highlands.
That is the Highlands Bowl, which is one of the
Signature trails. Has a long hike, but apparently pretty good. Pretty nice up here.
Stand somewhere over that direction beyond the mountain there.
Yeah.
So this is some of the stuff they have at Aspen Mountain. We took the gondola up. It was like a 10-minute ride, right? This little xylophone thing. So there's croquet down there, big chess. There's a frisbee golf course. I'm about to take an adventure into this sculpture. Climbing up the ladder. Oh, interesting. So there's like little table and chairs and stuff in here. Okay, this is nice. And go through, you can get the view on the other side. Dylan's trying his hand at slacklining. It isn't going so well. Whoa! Wow. Dear gondola, I do not speak Morse code, but the view is pretty incredible from here. Welcome to Independence Pass. Over 12,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountains, and it's the site of the Continental Divide, which is right over there. I guess this has got to be one of the highest passes in the country. Very cool. Here we are at the Continental Divide, 12,120 feet, and it's freezing up here. I don't know how Dylan manages to stand this, but it's really cold. There's a lot of snow up here. This is the highest I've ever been. I'm not actually struggling to breathe, which is good. That mountain up there is a 14er. I mean, you can't even see the summit in the clouds. The road we took here was curvy, narrow, beautiful. This has been a worthwhile trip. It might be taken away from our drive back to Utah, but welcome to the final segment of our 3-day Aspen special. This is the ghost town of Ashcroft. Once a silver mining town, didn't last for very long. Planned in 1880, but by 1884 most residents had moved to Aspen proper, and died out completely by the early 1900s. So it has been dead for quite a while. We'll see if there are any ghosts in this town. Don't think there have been too many people living in here lately. The Blue Mirror Saloon, which you can actually go inside. It's turned into a museum, I guess, now. This is the post office. You can imagine what this would have looked like back in the 1880s when it was a functional post office in a thriving silver mining town. They had actually planned a lot of construction for the city. Like, what did it say? 864 plots? Doesn't look like they built on too many of those plots. Or if they did, they're not standing anymore. But I kind of like what's left. You know, I kind of like that there's only like 10 buildings left. It gives it more of an authentic feel. I don't know. I mean, this is truly a ghost town. Look, like it's completely overgrown. This apparently was like Main Street. Doesn't look that main to me. It's cool. The biggest building in Ashcroft is actually the hotel. We'll take you around. We can't go inside because they just sprayed it. They just sprayed it for wasps. So the wasps in there might be kind of angry. It might not be much to behold now, but you can imagine that in the 1880s, during this town's heyday, this must have been a very nice place to stay with beautiful scenery and silver mines galore. Well, we've seen everything there is to see in Ashcroft, so I guess this is it. Worldwide Wong signing off from Aspen, Colorado.